I'm no video editor, so these kinds of motion graphics in my videos seemed completely impossible for me. But I'm going to show you today how you can recreate these in just seconds using AI and personalize them to your content using a tool called Remotion. So let's dive in. Of course, even as a non-motion graphic designer, you could use templates and insert them into your videos, but I always found that those didn't quite match the vibe of my video, didn't quite match my branding, and weren't easy to personalize with my content. Here's just a few examples of graphic designs that I made using Remotion. Here's a Venn diagram that you can insert your own content into. Here's one where I drew inspiration from a static graph and turned it into an animation. And this one, I actually took inspiration from Ali Abdal's video and recreated it. All right, let's go ahead and install Remotion on your machine. I will assume that you've already installed Claude Code, which you'll need to be using Remotion and kind of prompting your motion graphics with. Step one is to go to Remotion.dev/docs, and you'll end up on this page. We're gonna copy this and we're gonna open our terminal and we're gonna copy paste this in. So now it's gonna ask us how we'd like to start our first project, and we're just gonna go with blank. You can switch between these using your up and down arrow keys. Let's go ahead with blank, and then we're just gonna enter every time we accept something. Yes, we want to add Tailwind CSS. That's what they use to do the motion graphics with, and then yes, and add agent skills to Claude, right? So we want Remotion as a skill. So every time I'm just pressing enter as a key here. All right, it's asking us which agents to install, and we're just gonna go with the recommended. So enter, installation scope, project, Symlink, just accept whatever they're saying here. Proceed with installation, done. Install the find skills. So this is how you can actually call the Remotion skill in Claude Code. We're gonna go with yes. Perfect. So here you have some commands to call the skill with to start creating your motion graphics. So here we have the name of the project, which is gonna be in your home directory. As you can see here, it's called My Video. To look into this file, you can actually go cd as a command in My Video. So just open that folder, and then you can run Remotion. So let's open a new tab here, and we're just gonna go Claude. Yes, I trust this folder. So before we start, just navigate to My Video, which is the correct folder. Yes, and now npm run dev, and that's basically gonna open up Remotion in Chrome, so we can actually view whatever motion graphic we're making or creating. Over here, we can see that that command opened up Remotion for us, and this is actually where we're gonna see every motion graphic that we prompt just be created as a new composition, as they're called. So on the left here, we have our compositions. This one doesn't have a name yet, we can rename it, but whenever we start making them, they'll just automatically be added there in Remotion. And you can actually view what's being done here as well as render them in the end, but we'll go over that. Now that we've set up Remotion on our machine, we can actually start grabbing inspiration for motion graphics that we'd like to recreate in Remotion. So you can think of any graph, any title page, any diagram that you'd like to recreate. I will preface this by saying that some things work better in Remotion than others, so try to keep it simple initially and not too complicated. Things like arrows are kind of hard to recreate. But I'm going to show you how I created the 4 videos that I showed you at the start of this video, and we're just going to recreate them together. I'll show you exactly where I find inspiration for motion graphics so you can actually start building your own inspiration folder as well. The first place I go to for inspiration for motion graphics or diagrams that I'd like to animate using Remotion is Pinterest. Now, you might think that most things on there are static, and that is true, but that's okay. We can actually animate a static image, and that's kind of the power of using Claude and Remotion to create animations like this. So this one actually happens to be a GIF, but we can actually feed that to Claude and it can use it as inspiration to recreate this as a motion design. I don't want the Polish currency in my graph, but I want to make a graph about my newsletter subscription growth. So we're just going to go ahead and save this image as something. So let's say graph. And I actually have in my home directory a folder called animation examples, which we're going to save this to. So we've saved that to graph. Now we're going to head back to our terminal and we're going to ask Claude to recreate this using Remotion. So I'm just going to copy this, Command C and then Command V, and then I'm going to tell it to use this as inspiration to create a new composition. It's going to ask us if we want to proceed, and we're going to say yes. Now in the background, we can actually see when we go back to Chrome, to our dev environment, it created this animation. So let's play it and see how good of a job it did. Nice. So that's super close to the image that we fed it, right? Of course, as I mentioned, I want this to be about my subscription or my newsletter subscription rate going up. So we can actually just prompt that using super literal terms to make amendments here. I'm going to say, make this an upward graph showing newsletter subscriber growth to 12,500 subscribers. It's so cool to see how it actually comes up with the code for these graphs and the actual motion design. So you have some context there. Let's see what it came up with here. Nice. So much for our first recreation of the videos I showed you initially. Let's do another one. Now let's head back to Pinterest and do another one from my inspo folder. Personally, I really like this one and I've already saved it to my inspo folder. So I'm just gonna drop that into Claude and ask it to turn it into a motion graphic. So here's my example. And here you can see by just drag and dropping it, the image is here. I'm just telling it to change the labels of the bar because they're just an example. I'm going to say change the labels of the bars to Q1 to Q4 and change the graph title to, I don't know, Marketing Performance 2025, just to switch it up. Cool. So Claude has been cooking and we're going to see how well of a job it did with this one. Here we go. Let's play this one. That's so cool. I'll be very honest, I've tried this one a few times and every time the result is different. So that's really cool to see. Something that's good to know is that you can also feed this your own data. So let's say you have an Excel spreadsheet with some data that you could turn into graphs. You can just upload that to Claude and make the motion graphic super realistic, just increasing and following your own data. Before I show you how I draw inspiration from YouTube, let's do one more drawing inspiration from Pinterest. And we're going to be looking at this Venn diagram. I think Venn diagrams are so cool, but whenever I use a template, I can't get them to be personal to my content. So I've already saved this to my inspiration folder as always. We're going to go ahead and open Claude again. Grab this from my folder and again, drag and drop. So this is called image 2 because it's the second image in our chat. And we're going to say animate this Venn diagram. I find that the best thing to do is just to give it an image and see what Claude comes up with first, because the more information you give it initially, the further away or the more room for interpretation there is for Claude. So let's see how good of a job it does for now. And then we can always change the text, the font, or even the layout of the video and make it horizontal. Let's go open this in Remotion and see how well it did. Okay, so there's room for improvement here, but we can see that it did a pretty good job. So here you just have to prompt the font to be smaller, and maybe we could even make this horizontal. So we can say, make the Venn diagram horizontal and make sure center font doesn't flow the yellow intersection. These thinking verbs in Claude actually send me every time and I can't wait to turn them off. Flibberjig Flibbertigibbing. Flibbertigibbing. That's nauseating. Cool. So my bestie said that we're done, so let's go ahead and see what it came up with here. Awesome. This is exactly what I wanted, and it did it in 2 tries. So we can see that the fonts on the sides are a bit off, but you can basically go in to a little bit of this CSS here and just check like what the height should be, move it lower, or you can just describe that in literal terms. Now I'd like to show you the second way I find inspiration for motion animations, and that is while watching videos. So the way this workflow works is with one additional step, which is just that we can't upload video directly to Claude, so we just need to analyze it frame per frame. So the options you have here are, let's say you saw this Ali Abdaal video and you like the motion graphic that's coming up. You can use Tela to record your screen and just save that video for reference, or you can use a tool like QuickTime or CleanShot to do that as well. I'm using Tela, so I'm just going to show you in CleanShot, sorry. And I'm just going to save that to my inspiration folder as always. Just going to rename that. Okay, so I've already mentioned that we can't just drop videos into Claude Code directly, so we're just going to use a tool called FFmpeg to analyze each frame of the video that we've provided and ask Claude to create a similar animation. So here, I'm going to tell it where to find my inspiration file. Use FFmpeg to analyze in animation inspiration folder and create similar animation where words come in one by one. Okay, so Terminal is asking me if it can access folders. Yes, it needs to access it. It's asking me to get some video data. That's fine. So now it got the description of the video. You can see here cream background with decorative wavy shapes, icon at the top, rounded square, and then the words that were in the original animation. So that did a good job. And now it's creating a similar composition. Cool. Let's see how well of a job it did by going over here, and we're just gonna play this. I think that did really well. If we go back to our original inspo video, we can see that it's somehow interpreted red for the ages, but if anything, it looks even better. It kept the same colors and the same style, and then the only thing that it didn't do very well is to have a wavy background, but you can always prompt that and add that there. Okay, so we're at the end of our demo, and I just want to show you how you can use any of these animations in Tela using the upload clip feature. You can do this for any other video tool as well. Now, once we're done and we're ready to use this, we're gonna go ahead and render this, and we select the quality here. All right, let's go ahead with the highest quality, ProRes, and let's call this .mov. Cool. Let's open this, and here we can see that we have our title page ready to use in our videos. Okay, so now this video is actually ready to be used in Tela. We're gonna head over to Tela, we're gonna go add clip, use web app, and we're gonna go upload, and we're gonna drag and drop this file in there. For now, in Tela, this works best for title pages. So let's say you wanted to switch between sections or chapters in your video, you can actually use a motion animated title page. So this is what this would look like as a title page. And then it would just go into the rest of your video. I know I'll be using this to jazz up my videos. If you want more tips on how to make your videos stand out, whether it's in Tela or not, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel because we'll be sharing more videos very soon. And I can't wait to be using this to level up my presentations and level up my videos.